Hello everyone, welcome to the KZGN News. Today we'll bring you news about a car theft and recovery in Ridgecrest, rankings of California's most boring cities, news about corruption in the LA City Council, Republican debate news, Trump's declining to attend the debate, news about new immigration problems putting all of us at risk, upcoming local events, today's gas prices, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyokern and China Lake, this is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News Crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Whitney. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In news from the Ridgecrest Police Department, we get this report of a grand theft auto and recovery event yesterday. Tuesday at about 7:45 p.m., Officer Campito responded to DJ's Pub where a vehicle had reportedly been stolen. The victim said he went to DJ's for a few drinks around 6:30 p.m. and left his keys in his unlocked 1996 Jeep Cherokee. Around 7:30, the victim walked outside and could not find his vehicle. After calling several family members, he called the Ridgecrest Police Department to report it as stolen. At about 9 p.m., Officer Huard observed the vehicle being driven in the 500 block of North Robala Street. He initiated a felony traffic stop, and with the assistance of additional officers, he removed 3 juveniles from the vehicle. After completing his investigation, Officer Huard arrested the 3 juveniles for vehicle theft, and they were transported to Juvenile Hall in Bakersfield. The juveniles were not named due to their ages. The vehicle was returned to the owner. The Ridgecrest Police Department continues to remind everyone to secure your vehicles when you leave them. Especially don't leave your keys in the car when you leave it. Did anyone ever tell you Ridgecrest is boring? Well, believe it or not, someone has actually done a study of California cities to rate them for being boring. Just like in all U.S. states, there are definitely some boring places within California's borders. What they found was there are pockets in San Francisco and Los Angeles areas where the majority of the neighborhoods are over the age of 50, most people are married, and where there is a sheer lack of amenities. Here's the top 10 most boring cities in California: Ross, Hillsborough, Woodside, Los Altos Hills, La Habra Heights, Portola Valley, Atherton, Saratoga, Rolling Hills Estates, Indian Wells, and that's the city of Indian Wells, not the valley. They didn't use personal opinion when it comes to what classifies a city or town as boring or exciting. They crunched actual numbers to figure out which towns are statistically more boring. In order to find the most downright boring places to live in California, they used the U.S. Census data to gather up all the places in the state with populations greater than 2,000 people. That left us with more than 450 cities in California to rank. Then they recorded the following boring criteria for each place: percent of population over 35, percent of married households, average age, percent of households with kids, percent of households with people over 65, and finally, population density. Next, they rank each place according to the 7 criteria above from 1 to 454. The lower the number, the more boring the place. So, you ask, where did Ridgecrest come out on the list? Ridgecrest is number 222 on the list. Other surrounding cities by us in the rankings are California City at 142, Bishop at 189, Tehachapi at 225, Lancaster 294, and Bakersfield 321. So Ridgecrest at 222 is just about in the middle of the rankings. So we're not as boring as some people say we are. In illegal immigration news, the Extrapol agency in Europe has sent out a warning to all Western countries that ISIS has an extremely perfect plant to print false passports and IDs. These are virtually perfect, they report. So they are warning the West that ISIS is now able to export their terrorist soldiers to any country they want under these false papers, and that they have further found that they have provided these papers to the recent huge exodus of Syrian refugees. This news has European countries scrambling to try and figure out what to do with the millions of Syrian refugees they have already let into their countries. In response, the Congress is now considering a bill to slow down the admittance of Syrian refugees. There has been no comment from the White House to this startling news. In presidential debate news, all attention is now on Trump's declining to participate in the next Fox-sponsored debate Thursday evening. The debate will be held in Des Moines, Iowa. The debate will start at 6 p.m. our time. Moderators will be Brett Baier, Megyn Kelly, and Chris Wallace. And that's where the turmoil started. Trump had been challenging Fox to replace Megyn Kelly as one of the moderators. Over the last week, he's been making overtones that he might pass on the debate if Fox didn't replace her. In an interview on Sunday, Trump was kind of saying that he still might attend even if they don't replace her, but that he was not happy with them letting what he described as a moderator biased against him to be allowed to ask questions. This goes back to the first debate where she had asked him a very tacky question concerning his comments about women about 20 years ago. He was very upset that they would go back that far to try and get dirt brought up. After the debate, Trump blasted her for her question. This led to about a week of back and forth between Fox and Trump, eventually simmering down and things getting back to normal. In an interview yesterday, Trump acknowledged that it is okay to bring up a candidate's past, but not to do so in a derogatory, insinuation-filled question. Yesterday, when asked a question by an NBC reporter at a press conference, the reporter questioned Trump on a statement Trump said years ago. Immediately, Trump attacked him and said, "Why don't you read the whole quote to get the proper context?" The reporter said they were his words. Trump slammed him again for trying to distort his position by not reading the complete quote. Trump called him dishonest and wanted an apology. The reporter refused to apologize, so Trump dismissed him. He said, "If you want to question me about something I said, read the entire quote, not just the part that suits your criticism." Then yesterday, Ailes, the head of Fox, put out a tweet saying this: "We learned from a secret back channel that the Ayatollah and Putin both intend to treat Donald Trump unfairly when they meet with him if he becomes president. A nefarious source tells us that Trump has his own secret plan to replace the cabinet with his Twitter followers to see if he should even go to those meetings." Within minutes of that tweet, Trump announced he would not be going to the debate. Trump stated that tweet is evidence of Fox's bias against him. Many supporters feel he doesn't need to anyway, as he is now leading almost in all national and state polls. In response, Ailes again stated that Kelly will be one of the moderators. In response, Trump has announced that he will hold some special town hall type event as a fundraiser for wounded warriors, and he plans on doing it at the same time as the debate. He is also said to be trying to line up a network to carry the special fundraiser on TV. Trump says if Fox doesn't want to guarantee a fair debate, then they can take a hit in the pocketbook. Their viewers will not come out in the millions to watch the debate without him there. Supporters of Trump are emphasizing that this shows the skill Trump has at negotiations. It's a good example of how tough he'll negotiate with other world leaders. He knows when to walk away from the table if the conversation isn't going the right direction. This is one of the largest criticisms directed at the current administration. It was also very interesting to watch all the pundits' discussion on the other networks. Many of the liberal-leaning networks were even giddy about Trump taking out Fox. I even heard one person on CNN say, "Finally, after 20 years, there is someone strong enough to take on Ailes and Fox." And he said it with glee and excitement. But they had on the Republican establishment strategists just about begging all the other networks to not carry any competing event he might throw out against the debate. One pundit says he's never seen anything like Trump. He's broken every rule of politics and still continues to gain momentum. He doesn't understand it. But one pundit does get it. He said, "They still just don't get it. There's a huge segment of the population fed up with the current administration and what is going on in Washington. They want a new president that is going to fight and fix establishment Washington." So once again, Trump is controlling the news. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Now stay with us for news from the Naval Air Weapons Station when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. In news from the Naval Air Weapons Station Fleet and Family Support Center, we get this announcement. NAWS is partnering with the Kern County Department of Human Services to provide our community with employment opportunities in and out of the federal sector. Therefore, We will be hosting the following event at no fee. Job Fest will be held at the KZGN Center April 7th, 2015 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. If you are a business and would like to participate in Job Fest and you have current or upcoming employment opportunities to market to our unique personnel, consisting of highly trained administrative, professional, technical, and skilled trades personnel, as well as service industry workers. Our workforce has experience and training in avionics, electronics, and other aviation skill areas. Our civilian workforce includes scientists, engineers, technicians, administrative support, customer service agents, and food service workers. Many in our workforce are well educated with computer skills and security clearances. Participating employers will each be provided a covered table, and you are encouraged to bring signage and display systems. If representatives from your company can attend, please sign up now. Registration will ensure that your spot is saved. As we continue our mutual efforts to supply our military and civilian communities, we look forward to your participation in this job fair and in future events. If you have any questions, please contact Robin Lipscomb at 760-499-4808 or Jenny Rodriguez at 760-939-4553. Again, this is for businesses to sign up now for the April Job Fair event. Now, how about this concerning even corrupt city council elections? Not here, but in L.A. Nury Martinez's 2015 re-election campaign is the most recent to get attention for questionable small donations. This goes back to October of last year when staffers from Martinez's campaign were summoned to a grand jury. Los Angeles has a matching funds program designed to get candidates focused on their local constituencies instead of relying so heavily on out-of-district or city donors. The program calls for 200 valid donations from district residents, among other requirements, for the matching government funds to be given to a candidate. Once candidates fulfill the requirements, every donor living in the Los Angeles has their contribution matched by as much as a 2-to-1 ratio. Nury Martinez, for example, got $65,000 in public funds through the matching program, almost 20% of her campaign spending. Even though FBI has not discussed the matter, the issue with the feds might be the validity of those 200 district-specific donations. Martinez only reported 220 contributions from residents in her district, and investigators have found residents saying they had not donated nor given permission for someone to donate on their behalf. There was another candidate from the March 2015 elections who was accused of doing something similar. Last May, the Los Angeles City Ethics Commission fined Robert Cole over $90,000 after the commission accused Cole of filing multiple contributions to dead people as part of the effort to get over the 200 district donations. Cole received more than $61,000 in taxpayer matching funds for his campaign. Just for info, Ridgecrest does not have this type of program. All candidates here actually have to raise all the funds they spend to get elected. Are you ready for a fun evening of guns and entertainment for the benefit of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation? Coming this Saturday is the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation Dinner. This year's annual dinner is this Saturday, January 30th at the KZGN Center. That's this Saturday, folks. Pre-sale tickets can be purchased and is required. If you want to attend this event, purchase your tickets now. Contact Gavin Swanson at 760-589-4537 or email him at rc.rmef.tickets@gmail.com. Now, in KZGN's continuous effort to provide news and information you've asked for, here are today's gas prices for Ridgecrest and some surrounding areas. Well, since my report on Monday, gas prices everywhere has shown no real movement. Local prices are steady this time, but Ridgecrest still has the lowest prices in all the areas we are monitoring. As of this morning, Ridgecrest is ranging from $2.49 to $3.09, Lancaster from $2.63 to $2.99, the LA Valley area $2.55 to $2.75, and the Bishop area $2.83 to $2.89. We have 5 stations at the $2.49 amount. Tune in Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for updates. We at KZGN always suggest you shop locally to support our local economy. Remember, when you pay sales tax out of town, you're helping those cities pave their streets instead of here. Now stay with us for weather and sports when we come back. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, a low-pressure system will impact the southeast U.S. beginning Wednesday and continuing into Thursday. The potential exists for locally heavy rainfall and isolated severe thunderstorms, especially over central and southern Florida. Some of the storms could contain damaging winds. Temperatures across the nation: Carolinas at 46, Georgia at 44, Arkansas at 45, northern Texas at 53, New Mexico at 65, and Los Angeles at 67. And for us locally, tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 35, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny with a high near 63, southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Thursday night, partly cloudy with a low around 38, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 65, northwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 44, west-southwest wind 15 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 63, west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour, with gusts as high as 30. Saturday night, a 20% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a low around 40, west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Sunday, a 30% chance of rain, mostly cloudy with a high near 54, with a calm wind. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
Thanks, Lane. And now here's Tom Heck with sports.
And a very pleasant Wednesday early evening to everyone. Burroughs High School basketball tonight over at the barn. Probably start sometime around 6:15 to 6:30 after the JV game tonight. Burroughs will be taking on Hesperia High School. Now the JVs play earlier at 4:30, and then the girls are on the road tonight at Hesperia. The girls beat Hesperia easily last time they played 3 weeks ago here in Ridgecrest. Girls having a very good season. They're tied for second right now under third-year head coach Laura Larson. Okay, in the NBA, the Clippers beat the Pacers, but Blake Griffin may not play for a while. Blake Griffin was involved in a restaurant fight altercation on Sunday in Toronto, and that means that Blake Griffin, who has already been out with a quadriceps tear, a slight one, hasn't played since Christmas and may not play for another month at best. So we'll have to see what happens in that scenario. Blake Griffith was very sorry. It was actually someone that he knew that he hit, and he apologized on Twitter for his actions. All right, the Lakers lose to Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki hit a shot with 2 seconds left. Lakers played a good game. They had no Kobe because of his shoulder. The Heat beat the Nets. Toronto beat Washington. Now, Toronto, the Raptors, set a record, a club record last night. They have won 9 games in a row, best in franchise history. The Milwaukee Bucks win, the Portland wins, Oklahoma City wins. Oklahoma City beat the Knicks in overtime. Oklahoma City's awful tough in overtime. They've won 5 of 6 in the OT frame. Russell Westbrook over UCLA Bruin had 30 points in that game. All right, the big Super Bowl coming up, Super Bowl number 50. Hard to believe, started in 1967, and now here we are in 2016, and Peyton Manning and Cam Newton. Peyton Manning, the oldest quarterback that since probably the days of Ken Stabler to play in a Super Bowl, and then Cam Newton, one of the youngest quarterbacks to ever play in the Super Bowl. Both of those guys are graduates of the Southeast Conference. The last time they had 2 Southeast Conference graduates in a Super Bowl at quarterback was when Kenny Stabler went against Fran Tarkenton in 1976. All right, baseball. The Nationals acquired Bronson Arroyo. They signed him to a minor league contract. A 38-year-old former Major League star with the Reds is going to try to make the roster for the Nationals. In the NHL, the Ducks beat Boston 6-2 last night. The Penguins, Sabres, Hurricanes, Panthers, Yellow Jackets, and Predators, along with the Sharks, also win. So maybe your favorite NHL team got a win last night. Coming up on Thursday, there'll be some junior high basketball over at Saracoso. St. Anne's Monroe, along with the team from Trona, will all play games starting at 3:30 and 4:30, boys and girls. That's your sports for this Wednesday. I'm Tom Heck for KZGN.
So that's some news for today. Also, KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk coming up next.